Hello, you guys. As I was scrolling on the TikTokies, and came across this thing on my For You page, and it was about this guy Khalil saying that Danisha Carter was harassing him, stalking him, and wanted some pain because she claimed she was pregnant. Yo, I was so invested in the story, I had to watch all parts. Okay, so I put all parts in this video so y'all can be invested with me. And second, I couldn't find any of Denisha's part, so that's why hers is not in here. So, you guys, this is totally crazy. Girl, cause he must have put it down and broke the bed, honey. I wish I had something like that. But you guys, listen to these responses and reactions that people have to Khalil's um statements that he's putting out about Danisha Carter harassing him. Have a great night, you guys.
Danisha Carter's been harassing me for the last month and a half. Let's talk about it. Over a month and a half ago, we matched on a dating app and I regretfully hooked up with her. Since then, I realized that she not only lied about her age, but she also lied about being pregnant in an attempt to coerce me and emotionally blackmail me into sleeping with her again. That sounds crazy, but I'll show you all the screenshots. But before I address that, I want to address all these comments that your followers are leaving me. You keep spreading claims that I cheated on my girlfriend with you. Whole time I didn't meet the woman that you're referring to until after we hooked up. So let's not get it twisted. And trust and believe, if I met her first, I would have never fucking spoke to you. Me and Danisha hooked up on the night of January 9th. In the days following that, being a true Angelino, I was volunteering with fire relief efforts. Because I was volunteering, I was not texting back quick enough for Danisha's liking, which led to her being very rude to me through text message. Pause to read. In response to that, I just explained that I was busy, but she kept berating me, so I just left her on read and stopped responding. She messaged me 2 or 3 days later apologizing for what she said, and I still didn't respond. A week or two later, Danisha messaged me saying that we need to talk. We spent over 30 minutes on the phone in which Danisha refused to disclose what we needed to talk about, and she said that we could only talk about it in person. Remember that for later. I expressed to her since she was rude, I did not feel comfortable coming over to her house, especially because she was saying I needed to come over at around 9, 10, 11 p.m. I told her we could meet at a cafe and talk about it. She refused, so we ended up getting off the phone. Later that day, she messages me saying that I need to send her my address so her attorney could send over paperwork. Remember that for later. Obviously, in response to that, I tell her that we can hop on the phone. Again, we talk for about 30 minutes in which she refuses to disclose what she wants to talk about. And at the end, she tells me that she's pregnant. At that point, I realized that maybe we do need to talk in person. But because our schedules weren't matching up, we ended up just hopping on FaceTime. On that FaceTime, we talked about a lot of things, including her father working in finance and her mother being an Egyptian national who works in counterterrorism programs in America. Mind you, I don't even know if that's true. And by the end of this, you'll realize that it's really hard to believe anything she says. We spoke about what the plan was moving forward because, frankly, I don't want to have a child with anyone right now, especially not her. Mind you, all the times that we've spoken so far, she's made an attempt to try to get me to come over to her house to talk about it in person. Conclusion of that phone call, she said that she needs more time to think about it, and honestly, that's fair. 2 or 3 days later, she messages me saying, actually, I'll have my attorney contact you, please send me your address. At that point, I'm like, hey, have your attorney contact me because you're being very fucking weird. Now, this is where shit gets juicy. I'm actually making this into a part 2, but I'm gonna post it right the fuck now. This is part 2 of how Danisha Carter has been harassing me for over a month and a half. You need to get caught up. The first video was posted right before this. Pretty much, Danisha crossed her friend, leading to him outing their entire text message thread. And if you want all the receipts to read yourself, I will link them in a Google Drive in the comment. These messages are in response to her telling me to come over to her house and me saying that I don't feel comfortable doing so. Her friend said maybe he can't afford an Uber, and you can read the rest. This is where shit gets juicy. Why would Danisha message her friend, but it's very on brand for the WAG trying to trap an athlete, quote unquote, suddenly pregnant, pissed athlete wants proof, I had a miscarriage. And her friend tells her to practice her pregnancy gate. Pause to read the rest. First few messages are a bit unimportant, but it's pretty much Danisha and her employer slash friend who outed her talking about travel accommodations. But then if you look right here, I don't know how to play this now that I'm not saying I'm pregnant, laugh my ass off. Or screenshots. Do I actually tell him I'm pregnant or do I make the reveal that I just want to fuck him? And her friend tells her that, hey, the reveal is good, but don't overplay your hand. Danisha then says, so don't say I'm pregnant, and her friend says to save it. Then she says, okay, he won't hate me for lying to him just to fuck him? And then her friend responds, he's a man, Danisha. And says, I'm also a man who hates her and a man who has a mother. She says, laugh my fucking ass off. I mean, if some girl is yapping about being pregnant, wouldn't he tell her? Then I'm attacked from all sides, the Compton commie. Let's just overlook the racial undertones of calling me some kind of Compton commie. The whole time I'm not even from fucking Compton, bro. Her friend says, no one tells their main bitch that their side bitch is pregnant. It's like you never listen to confessions. Mind you, there was no main, and Danisha could not be a side if her name was Onion Rings. Her friend tells her that by lying to me about being pregnant, I will come over and the emotions will be high, the intimacy will be high, we'll lock eyes, and then the end. And then she says, what, do I appear worried or scared? Nervous? He says, yes. She says, then I tell him that I went to the doctor and got a blood test for my thyroid and I'm pregnant. And if he doesn't believe it, we pulled out. Sorry, this is so many details. And she's fucking right. This is so many details. I'd rather not have to share this shit. But you keep fucking harassing me, so here you go. Now that we got the screenshots out of the way, let's dive into the next issue. The reason she kept asking for my address to send over attorney paperwork is because she was trying to fucking dox me. Her friend exposed her for trying to fucking dox me in the same Discord server where she's telling everyone that I'm a fucking cheater. The same Discord server where she got another man doxed a few years ago for saying she's like fucking catfish. Now let's really talk about it. Danisha is poor. There's nothing wrong with being poor. She puts on this facade of being some kind of rich upper class girl, and that's not true. She told me she had 2 houses in Los Angeles, but really, one of the houses belongs to the person who outed her. He pays her $2,000 a month to manage the company's social media just to keep her afloat. And the other house is just a roommate situation with a girl who she continuously talks shit about. And her TikTok's not even monetized. You're literally just being a capitalist shill for free. And if you need more proof, I've got roommates who could corroborate the entire story. If you're watching this, Danisha, we hooked up one time. I don't know why you're crashing out over it that fucking bad. The fact that it went from just berating me in my DMs to straight lying about pregnancy to now harassing me on the internet, on all the dead homies, you're a weirdo. Now please, don't ever contact me again or I will just continue to spill receipt. Thank you. This is the last thing I'm going to address regarding this entire situation. I never cheated on my girlfriend. I don't even have a girlfriend. I met a girl a week after me and Danisha hooked up and we started hanging out. The girl did my nails and posted them on her story. I shared it. Danisha was stalking me and saw that and then assumed that I had a girlfriend. So everyone calling me a cheater, go fuck yourself. Here's the screenshot showing our first date. The girl who I had met and hung out with, we met on January 16th for the first time in real life. These messages from the day I met Danisha are from January 10th. I was saying I would avoid this if I didn't cheat. Whole time, I never cheated.
I said I was done talking about it, but I'm not, because one thing you're not going to do is call me a liar. Firstly, to the people who are like, oh, you're lying, you fabricated those screenshots, that's why you cropped the name, da-da-da. When you green screen on TikTok, it crops the top and the bottom of your photo, so there's that. Here's all the full screenshots for you. Here's the rest of the screenshots. To everyone who's saying, oh, why would you bring her drama to the internet? She tried to fucking dox me. She tried to run a smear campaign on me. She was lying about being pregnant to coerce me into having sex with her, and it's been going on for a month and I haven't said shit. Well, how do you know she's trying to run a smear campaign? DJ Soulchild sent me these screenshots from an email that he got from an anonymous account a week ago. I have been getting harassed about cheating on my nail tech girlfriend for a fucking month. The person who stalked my nail tech girlfriend was Danisha. While on FaceTime with her friend who exposed her, he literally asked me, oh, are you talking to the blank girl with blank features? The only reason he would know that is if Danisha is fucking stalking the people I'm talking to. Also, Raya is exclusive. If you caught me on Raya, that means that you are someone who is also on fucking Raya. And guess what? We matched on Raya. Like an anonymous person caught me on Raya. Meanwhile, you have to get fucking approved to even be on the app. However, caught me on Raya is someone who has some level of influence. People are like, oh, why didn't you screenshot her on the dating app? It's Raya. You cannot screenshot on Raya or you will get kicked the fuck off. You will literally get banned from the app for screenshotting people. Also, I'm just not lame. I'm not gonna screenshot people who are popular, who match with me because that's fucking lame. And if you don't believe me, I literally called her Uber. Here's a screenshot. Everyone wondering why she's not giving her side of the story, it's because it's fucking embarrassing. This whole thing is fucking embarrassing. She's not gonna post her side of the screenshots because all the screenshots are the same, because why the fuck would I fabricate a story like this? Like, do you think I'm Tyler Perry? Mind you, I really did not want to post about this. I literally texted her saying, yo, I have screenshots showing that you're lying, please leave me alone. She continued to go, so guess what? Two could play that game. She literally was having people fucking harass me on Instagram and TikTok for months. People were literally at her behest contacting people that I fucking work with. To be fair, she does have
have some narcissistic personality quirks, which I feel like led to her not truly believing that her friend would out her so bad just to get back at her. I sent her one screenshot asking her to leave me alone, and I don't think she believed that her friend would out himself so bad and send me all the screenshots of their conversation. Because yes, shout out to him for sending me the screenshots, but the screenshots still make him look very bad. Everyone who's like, oh, how could you be around someone with drastically different politics? I need you to realize, I don't be on the internet like that. To me, Danisha is just the AI girl who talks in the monotone voice. I was not familiar with her Twitter. I was not familiar with her takes regarding texturism and colorism. I was not familiar with any of this. I genuinely have not seen her on my For You page since like 2022. All the takes I've seen from her have given progressive liberal. And yes, I don't like liberals, but we have to also realize that liberals make up like 80% of people who are not staunch Republicans. But yeah, that's all I got for you.
Baby, I pray I never get none as good as Khalil had to give it to Danisha. I pray I never get it that good. Cause I be damned. I be damned, baby. She going down bad. He said, oh, bitch, you tried it? I can return it. I still have my receipts. Receipt after receipt after receipt. Then the crazy thing is, y'all on here trying to call that man gay. The only thing y'all know about him is that he was having sexual intercourse with a woman. That man ain't gay.
Danisha Carter's been harassing me for the last month and a half. Let's talk about it. Over a month and a half ago, we matched on a dating app.
I told y'all yesterday I don't fuck with neither one of these motherfuckers, so I ain't picking sides. I changed my mind. I hate to see a grown-ass man pillow talk. Oh, my God. Imagine being a grown-ass man and get some coochie. The girl like it a little bit too much. Didn't he say she live out of fucking town? Like, why are you telling us? Block her number. Block her on the internet. Why are you telling us? Hate a pillow talking ass bitch.
Danisha Carter, pick up the phone. They are saying you're crazy and broke. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this dude here named Khalil spilled all the beans. And by beans, I mean tea. And by tea, I mean bleach. On Danisha. And if you don't know who she is, she's basically an OG TikToker, right? She's been around for a few years. A lot of people think she's AI, but she's a real person. And she basically makes think piece content. I'm going to give a very brief version. I'll link his video down below. But allegedly, him and Danisha matched on a dating app, and I guess he put homegirl through the mattress. I mean, broke her back and then some. I mean, he cracked her like a crab leg and slurped that meat out of her because she has been crazy for him ever since. Judging from the video he just posted, it sounds like Khalil and Danisha met on Raya. That is the exclusive app for like rich people, influencers, celebrities, that type of stuff. And then they hooked up in early January, and I guess old boy really put it on her, you know what I'm saying, gave her that vitamin D, and she needed him back like real bad, and has been harassing him, trying to link in person. He wasn't really trying to do that, and I guess because Danisha.
So I woke up early and went down the rabbit hole of the Danisha Carter and Khalil drama mess. Just, I don't even know what to call that situation. And like, the craziest part to me is like low key finding out that Danisha Carter is an actual person. I can't be the only person that felt like the uncanny valley effect every time I looked at her. Like, I'm not trying to like say nothing about her. She is beautiful, but there's just like like, I just thought she wasn't real. I thought she was AI. Like, I was just like, oh, every time she'd pop up, I keep scrolling. Like, not today, Skynet, not today. Like, Khalil, what do you got going on that you got her faking a whole baby to get you back? Like,
I'm not going to comment on him, but I personally thought Blue Eyes, Danisha, I thought she liked them lighter than that. I didn't think, I personally, I thought he had too much color in him for her, but sorry.
if you don't like me, that's not my problem. It's yours.
The popular pretty people on TikTok are tussling. Khalil and Danisha. This is like high school, y'all. I'm just sitting back watching. I'm just waiting for Danisha to come and say what she gonna say, because yo, this is some high school shit, right? Did she really try to fake a pregnancy? Was she really pregnant? Khalil, y'all matched on y'all ain't matched on TikTok, cause y'all talk about two different things. Y'all matched on another app. How so? How y'all matching? Are y'all really talking about two different things? I'm just wondering, are you more like her, Khalil, or Danisha, are you more like him? Who's playing a part on TikTok? Who's playing a part? Anyway, Danisha, you ain't gonna say nothing, girl. You ain't. They waiting for your response to Danisha. I was in high school. I used to love when the popular pretty people started tussling. When they started arguing, I was just sit back and just wondering which one would draw blood first and whether they would be left with a permanent scar in their pretty little face. Because they scar so easily, you know. They do. The inner and the outer.
I really want to say something about this Danisha Carter situation, but I feel like most of the low-hanging fruit, most of the easy to see takes have already been said. So I'm going to say something that I think I haven't really heard yet. For some reason, I think this is especially true in the social media age, but I think it's true in general. We as people have developed this aversion to honesty in an attempt to not put ourselves in vulnerable positions. But oftentimes the alternative route we take than just being blunt and being honest ends up putting us in much worse, much more vulnerable positions than if we just been upfront from the jump. If from the jump, Danisha had texted this man and been like, I'm not gonna lie, you me so good. When are we gonna make appointment number 2? I think her chances of actually getting to sleep with this man again go way up compared to what they were taking the route that she did. But that's honesty that would have left her in an obviously immediate vulnerable position, vulnerable to rejection in this case. And instead she did took the longest way around she possibly could and faked the pregnancy and litigation and, did all of this roundabout stuff only to end up in a way worse position, a way more vulnerable spot, a way more embarrassing spot. Let this be a lesson. As anxiety-inducing as brutal honesty can sometimes be, it's oftentimes the best route to take.
Parasocial relationships are not real. They don't know you.
Well. I know y'all are tied into the Danisha and Khalil drama that's happening right now on TikTok. Look, I get it. I know that this is playing out publicly, but we don't know these people. And the amount of creators that are giving play-by-play, updates on the drama that is unfolding, I find it weird. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get caught up in this either, but we don't know these people, and parasocial relationships is not normal. None of that is normal. Let them have their beef. Let's continue with our day, please.
Let that be your lesson. The next time you see a black bitch with blue contacts, run. Why are we faking pregnancies? Why are we trying to dox people? What the fuck is going on? What's really killing me about the Danisha Carter and the Khalil situation, I guess, and DJ Soulless, because he's always in some shit, is the fact that bitches are out here trying to justify that shit. Oh, if he put a hole in my mattress, if he clapped my motherfucking... No, bitch, that shit's weird. First of all, you met him on a dating app. Why are y'all hooking up through dating apps? Second of all, why is it cool to fake a pregnancy in any way, shape, or form, especially in the state of our country, bitch? And you constantly trying to get somebody to give you their address is even weirder. And the fact that people are so calculated that you and your friends sat and talked about how it would be a steamy romantic moment to issue out a pregnancy, a fake pregnancy, and he would want to sleep with you because you wanted round 2 is diabolical. As much as you get up on here and motherfucking talk about the next bitch, because God knows, Danisha, you talk about the next bitch. I thought you was the other Danisha that be talking like this. Imagine doxing somebody over some good pipe. All bullshit aside, I don't like that people are making like excuses like, oh girl, I would do it too, and y'all nasty. That's a whole, regardless of how you feel about his sexuality, his skin color, that's still a man, girl. Like, that's how people fuck up people's careers. Now, if he would have turned around and invited you to that house and grabbed you by your motherfucking neck and told you, leave me the fuck alone, you would have had a story to tell, wouldn't you? I don't give a fuck the pipe be on plumber. Don't fucking do that shit. That shit is weird. Open your mouth. We need answers. Now.
Good morning. I'm making potato pancakes for breakfast. Honestly, all of that's irrelevant. What is relevant is a point that I want to make when it comes to this whole Khalil and Danisha debacle. And that is the fact that we are getting caught up in very non-essential shit that is essentially missing the point. Danisha Carter wearing blue colored contacts is a non-issue. Khalil not possessing the aesthetics of a man who is straight or a man that is attracted to women, or Khalil's sexuality in general, is a non-issue. What the fuck Khalil was doing on Raya is a non-issue. What is an issue is the alleged coercion of intimate relations and the subsequent harassment for not getting the relations that you want. Like, sure, it's tea in the sense that a very popular creator on TikTok is caught up in a controversy, but the alleged things attached to this controversy are crimes. Like the act of allegedly trying to get somebody back to your home to have relations, the act of allegedly faking a pregnancy to trap somebody to see you in person to do the switch up for relations, and the alleged act of trying to dox somebody because you didn't get the relations that you wanted. Those are all criminal acts. And those are things that we ought to take seriously in the grand scheme of things. And those things should certainly take priority over colored contacts and somebody's supposed sexuality. Amid all of the shock and the comedy of who's involved, we ought to leave a little space for humanity also, because this is not only a very sad situation, but also a really scary situation that absolutely no one deserves to be a victim of.
Danisha Carter trying to fake a pregnancy to get Khalil to sleep with her is so far off my bingo card. It's quite literally in outer space, but what's actually more disappointing to me is the amount of videos that I've seen victim blaming Khalil for not knowing Danisha Carter's politics. Listen, I followed Danisha Carter for years before I saw a video that I disagreed with. And this is the way that the For You page works. That's actually the purpose of the algorithm, is to ensure that all of the takes that you agree with come to your For You page. Not to mention the fact that the majority of her ethics that are problematic are not even on TikTok. The majority of her posts that are like pro-Israel and all that other stuff, those are all on Twitter. And the other thing that I think is compelling about this is that Danisha actually comes from a Republican background. This is left for her. She has changed. But the other thing that really is bothering me is that the headline here is that Danisha tried to coerce Khalil into sleeping with her. That is the headline. And a lot of you keep forgetting that when you're making your little posts victim blaming Khalil. Like, hello, that is weird ass behavior. And a lot of you have also forgotten that men typically move to the alt-right as a result of sexual violence and the apologia that people have for women who commit acts of sexual violence against men. Like, that is literally why the manosphere exists. That is like the entire hook, line, and sinker to bring men into the alt-right. I even saw some comments in Danisha's video saying, like, why couldn't it be me from men? I really think that a lot of you need to think more critically when you post something and maybe give it 48 hours before you actually put it out there and think about the implications of normalizing something like sexual violence. And the other thing is that that completely removes responsibility from Danisha, who definitely knows better than to try to coerce somebody into sleeping with her. Like, even if you're a liberal, even if you're like a complete moderate, even if you're a little bit more right of liberal, you know that coercing people is not only illegal, it's also really, really immoral to do. Like, I don't understand why people are saying that like Khalil should have known about her ethics. Like, that is completely besides the point. The headline is that Danisha tried to coerce somebody into sleeping with her. And if the gender roles were reversed, like, would y'all really be treating this the same?